So it's 3 months into the year and you're still skinny fat. Have no fear, I'm here to help you so we can figure out how we can help you get in the best shape of your life in 2025, right? It's only 3 months into the year, there's still time. Even though your New Year's resolutions have collected dust, you know what I mean? You haven't looked at it since March 1st. The last time you went to the gym was March 1st, but it's okay, it's okay. You know, don't trip. We're gonna come up with a custom plan for you right here, right now, so that you can reach your fitness goals. Right? By the way, before we get into this list, I just want to say if you want to work with me personally, hit the link in the description down below. See if it makes sense to work together so that you can reach your fitness goals and things of that nature. So hit that link in the description down below and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. Little shameless plug for those of you guys that need it. Before we even start, make sure you like this video so we can boost up the algorithm, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's jump right into it. So the first things first, the reason why you haven't reached your fitness goals in 2025 at this point, and it's 3 months of the year, is because you don't got the right mindset for it, right? And realistically, like, this is probably the most important part of the video. Like, you need to have the mindset for this. Like, you need to want this shit bad enough. You need to want it. And you know, it sounds cliche for me to say because you hear everybody else say, oh, you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough, right? But you got to figure out why, and you got to find your why. On why do you want it, right? So you need an enemy. And I mentioned this before, and I think this is the most effective way. You know, I was reading this book by PBD, Patrick Bet-David, like Choose Your Enemies Wisely. So you need to choose your enemy wisely. And you're probably watching this video thinking, what do you mean I need to choose an enemy? Why do I need an enemy to get jacked? The reason why you need an enemy to get jacked is because you don't have motivation right now. You don't have motivation to actually go to the gym, right? Like, you don't have a drive, you don't have something that's pushing you, right? And you need an enemy. And what do I mean by enemy? You need something like, for example, an enemy could be anything. It could be yourself. Maybe you're the one keeping yourself from being in the gym, and maybe that angers you. I don't know. Maybe there was like an ex or something that broke your heart, and you know you want to get back at them, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna glow up and I'm gonna show this person up, right? Maybe, I don't know, someone doubted you. Maybe someone bullied you growing up, doubted you, or maybe someone bullied you, right? You gotta tap into. This is gonna sound kind of contrary to what you've been told or taught before, but like, you need to channel all that anger, right? All that resentment, and give it purpose. Put it into the weights, right? Because eventually, over time, your reason for starting is gonna change. Eventually, you're gonna develop a love for the gym. Trust me. Like, for example, I'm gonna go into a little story about myself. Like, the reason I started was because I used to get tackled and stuff in elementary school, junior high, and I was really skinny. I felt weak. I was scared of getting like jumped and stuff like that. I didn't like feeling weak. I didn't like having skinny arms and stuff. So I got in the gym, right? I used that frustration and anger and put it into the weights, right? And eventually, I don't even think about that shit anymore. Now I just like going to the gym. Now I just like going to the gym because I like going to the gym because I developed a passion for it. Because when you do it long enough, you start seeing reinforcement from like the results you start getting in the gym. You start seeing reinforcement from like the gains you're making. Your chest starts looking better, your biceps look better, your triceps look better. You just look better. You're gonna want to keep going. It's gonna want to keep you going, and your reason for getting in the gym changes. So you want to obviously outgrow enemies, right? So the reason you start is not going to be the reason you finish. So you want to eventually you're gonna want to outgrow enemies. If you're in the gym for years and years and you're still being driven by like an ex or something, maybe there might be some kind of underlying issues, right? But like in the beginning, it's fine. It's fuel to just get the ball rolling, just to get yourself going. So actionable step is I need you to think of 2 to 3 enemies. And enemies can be anything. Like I said, an ex, someone who bullied you, doubted you. Maybe there's a situation that you're avoiding, or whatever it is. Anything can be an enemy. Come up with an enemy that's gonna push you to get jacked. What is something you hate? What is something that pisses you off that getting jacked might fix, right? So you need to think like deep about this. Really think like how would this enemy drive me, and why is it important for me to get in the best shape of my life? So really ponder that. So now we got the mindset stuff out of the way. We're gonna go into specifics on like how we're actually gonna do this. So I want to start with the diet. I want to just talk about like which is pretty much, you're skinny, but like you're kind of like, you got a bit of a gut going on. It depends. There's two types of skinny fats, right? There's the one where you're more on the skinny side, and when you take off your shirt, it's like, ew. But then and then there's the type where it's like, you're on the more like obese side, and it's like, you got more like gyno, man boobs and stuff like that. You're still kind of skinny, but like you're kind of like, you're like the true definition of like skinny fat, and you're like above like, 20% body fat, you know what I mean? And and with that being said, with these two types, there's two different types of ways to approach this, right? So the way you should approach being skinny fat is, obviously through your diet. So let's just go for type 1 skinny fat, like I'm talking about type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So type 1 skinny fat, what you want, how to combat that is you want to be in maintenance, right? Because when you're a new lifter, you're actually in the best position to lose weight and build muscle at the same time, right? You're in, they call it newbie gains or body recomposition, right? Where when you first start lifting, you're gonna start to make the most amount of gains in your entire fitness journey, right? Just because your body is like just shocked by like you just start lifting and it's gonna want to build muscle real quickly, and you're gonna start to see the most amount of gains. Like this happened to me when I first started working out. Like I gained at least like 15 pounds and like 2019, 2020 or whatnot. Like I went from 150 pounds to like 170 pounds. Like it was crazy, right? And I was able to lose fat and build muscle at the same time because your body is in recomp. There's the only time you can be in recomp is when you're a new lifter or when you took a break from lifting for a while and jump right back into it. Or of course, if you're on steroids, right? So those are the only 3 times the body recomp can like work for you, right? Obviously later on in your fitness journey, you want to optimize, whether or not you're gonna bulk, cut, but let me go back to the beginning. So you want to be in maintenance. So you want to be in your maintenance calories. So when you're in maintenance, you're just maintaining your body weight. So that way you can be in a body recomp, so you can build muscle and lose weight at the same time, right? And while you're in maintenance, you want to make sure that you're eating at least 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per body weight. Right? And I want to just rewind a little bit. If you want to calculate how much you need to eat to be in maintenance calories, is you go into, screw this pen. Did I break it? Oh, I didn't break that pen. Oh well, I don't care. It was trash anyway. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you calculate, go into Google, literally, type in your weight and height, go in your weight, height, and it will tell you how much you need to eat to be in maintenance calories. Follow that, right? Make sure you're eating 1 gram, 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per body weight, and you should be good to go. By the way, if you need help with doing any of this, hit the link in the description. I got you, I'm the guy for that, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together so that you can reach your fitness goals. Little shameless plug for those of you guys that need it. Right, so now that we got that out of the way, so type 2 skinny fat. So type 2 skinny fat is when you're more on the obese side. So type 2, when you're a type 2 skinny fat, you want to make sure that you're going to be in a calorie deficit. So we're going to actually put you in a calorie deficit because you need to actually kind of lose weight. You know what I'm saying? So when you're like above, and when you're type 2 skinny fat, you're more like 20% body fat type of thing, right? So we're going to make sure you're calorie deficit. And because you're a new lifter, assuming you're watching this, you're a new lifter, you're going to still be in that great spot to build muscle and lose fat. So you can actually build muscle in a deficit, right? As long as you are eating 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per body weight, right? So I would say next 6 months, you know what I mean? For next 6 months, you stay in that calorie deficit for about, it depends. It really is gonna depend on your progress. Everybody's gonna progress differently. So let's just say you stay in a calorie deficit for like 3-4 months-ish, whatever. And then once you start to see that you're losing weight, your body is starting to, body recomp itself, and you're starting to put on muscle and you're starting to look a little bit leaner, then you can decide, okay, I'm gonna go on a lean bulk. Then you wanna jump into, from calorie deficit, you're gonna jump right into lean bulk. So then you can prioritize building lean muscle instead of just fat, right? I forgot to mention before with the type 1 skinny fat is you want to actually make sure that, well, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, you want to make sure that once you're in maintenance for a while, then you want to go on a lean bulk, right? And then so you can slowly build that muscle. Same kind of process, right? So TLDR, type 1 skinny fat, you're going to be in maintenance, and then eventually you're going to go into a lean bulk, and then type 2 skinny fat, you're going to be in a deficit, and then eventually you're going to move into the lean bulk, right? So now that we got diet out of the way, the training plan. So with the training plan, you want to make sure you pick a workout split. Pick a split that you feel comfortable with, right? So that could be push-pull legs, push-pull legs, or maybe you're on upper, lower, or maybe full body, right? Doesn't matter which split you choose. I think just choose a split that you like. I think the most important thing is that you're making sure, I don't know if I got room on this side, that you're progressively overloading. So you make sure you progressive overload. And you want to know, okay, so what is progressive overload? So overload is pretty much where you're increasing the intensity of the workout each time, right? So you want to make sure you're either upping the weight or you're, performing the workout in a slow, controlled movement, right? So you want to practice time under tension, performing the movement slow and controlled. And you want to make sure that you're upping the intensity of the workout, so lifting heavier each time, upping the weight by 5-10 pounds each week, making sure that you're making the workout harder each time. Like that's going to be your main priority with progressive overload. And this is going to be arguably the most important part of your fitness journey, because you want to make sure that you're like pushing yourself so that you can actually build muscle. A lot of the mistake that most people make is that they go to the gym and they're lifting the same weights day in, day out. And when you do this, you're not actually growing because your body has no reason to grow because it's not being challenged, right? So you have to give your body a reason to why it wants to grow and build muscle, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you maximize the V-taper physique, right? So you want to make sure you maximize your shoulders. Forgot how to spell shoulders for a second. Shoulders and your lats. So here's the thing. When you want to build a top tier physique, you want to make sure that you see the V-taper is going to be the foundation of this like cake that you're building, right? So you want to make sure you build your V-taper, and then your physique will be literally, how do I word this? Physique will literally be built around the V-taper, right? So the V-taper is the foundation, because when you master a V-taper physique, like once you maximize your shoulders, maximize your lats by doing like pull-ups or lat pull-downs, and for shoulders, you're doing your lateral raises, your shrugs, all the different types of workouts for your shoulders. Once you do that, it actually makes your frame wider, so you're gonna look wider, and your lats are gonna actually make you taper inwards so that you can actually appear bigger, right? It's actually gonna make you look more aesthetically pleasing. And then if you work out everything else, everything else will kind of follow into play, like the chest, the biceps, the triceps, and they all kind of complement each other. But you wanna make sure that you're like being intentional and like maximizing the V-taper so that you can build your physique around the V-taper so that it makes your physique look all the more better, right? It wasn't until in my own fitness journey when I actually started maximizing my V-taper physique, like that's when my physique went to the next level. I started to look a lot better, a lot more aesthetic, right? My bad, camera died, but pretty much that's all I really wanted to say in this video. So make sure you hit that bell notification, because I'm posting almost every day, and you should hit that like button, boost it up to the algorithm. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I know you watch my videos every week, and I don't know why you're not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. And remember, there's nothing landing while playing small. And I'll catch you guys. Oh, and before I say catch you guys next video, make sure you book that one-on-one coaching call if you want to work with me personally, so that you can build a custom plan so that you can reach your goals, your fitness goals for the year 2025. But yeah, remember, there's nothing landing while playing small, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.